Good morning, students. Class 11 Biozoology, Chapter 1 The Living World. In this chapter, we are going to learn about the diversity in the living world, need for classification, taxonomy and systematics, three domains of life, taxonomic hierarchy, nomenclature, concept of species, and tools for study of taxonomy. In this world, there are different varieties of living organisms, and all the living forms are interacting with each other and they are living together. So far, about 8.7 million species of animals have been identified, named, described and classified. A study report says that 86% of all species on the land and 91% of species of those in the seas are yet to be discovered, described and catalogued. Though the human are placed in the topmost position in the hierarchy. So hierarchy means it is ranking or categorizing the living organisms into different ranks. So in that the human are placed in the topmost hierarchy. And even though we have placed in the topmost hierarchy, the human have to depend on the plants and animals for food. So human beings have to be depend on the plants and animals for their food. Animals are useful to us in many ways. They are used as a source of labor, and we are using the animals in agriculture, as pets and for other economic benefits. So we are getting many useful products from the animals. So without plants and animals, it is very difficult for us to survive, because we are mainly depending upon the plants and animals for our food and also for our other purposes. Understanding animals and their unique characteristics, habitats. Habitat means living place, behavior and evolutionary relationships. Evolutionary relationship means how the animals are closely related or how their ancestors are closely related. That is called as the evolutionary relationship. Is very important. This chapter mainly it deals with the diversity in the living world, need for classification, types of classification, taxonomical hierarchy, nomenclature and tools for studying taxonomy. First we will see the diversity in the living world. What is diversity? Diversity means differences. Our planet Earth has numerous habitat. So our planet Earth has numerous habitat. Habitat I already told you, it is the living place with a wide range of living organisms. So there are different variety of living organisms, starting from a microorganism to a large mammal. There are different varieties of living organisms which are living in our planet Earth. Plants and animals are present in almost all the places. So from polar ice caps to volcanic hot springs. So both plants and animals are living in very cold places and also they are living in very hot places. So they are living from polar ice caps to volcanic hot springs, from shallow lagoons. Lagoons means it is a type of pond or lake. So some animals are living in shallow waters and some animals are even living in the deepest oceans, from tropical rainforest to dry and parched desert. So some animals are living in tropical rainforest and some animals are even living in very hot deserts. So there are a variety of species of animals which are adjusting and adapting successfully to live in the diverse ecosystem. So there are different types of ecosystem. Desert ecosystem, pond ecosystem, the forest ecosystem. There are different types of ecosystem, and the animals are also adapted successfully to live in the different types of ecosystem. So in this picture you can able to see the different varieties of animals inhabiting in this living world. And here you can able to see the pond ecosystem. Here different creatures are living in this pond ecosystem. Now we'll see the definition for ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is a community of living organism. So living organism includes plants, animals, and also the microorganisms. So ecosystem is a community of living organisms which includes the plants and animals, and non-living environments. So the non-living environment includes the minerals, climate, soil, water, sunlight, and their interrelationship. How the living organisms and the non-living environment, how they are interrelated. So ecosystem is a community of living organisms, non-living environment, and their interrelationship. And the definition was given by A.G. Tansley in the year 1935. Next is the biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Bio means living, diversity means differences. So there are different varieties of living creatures living in this earth. What is biodiversity? The presence of a large number of species in a particular ecosystem is called as biological diversity, or in short biodiversity. So there are different varieties or different ranges of animals living in our planet Earth. This is called as biodiversity. The term biodiversity was first introduced by Walter Rosen in the year 1985, and it is defined by E.D. Wilson. Now we'll see the characteristics, features of the living organisms. From our lower classes, we have been learning the differences among the living and non-living. So the living organisms show a variety of unique features or special features which different from the non-living matter. So now we'll see the key features or key characters of the living organisms. So the key characters of living organisms are cellular organization. So what do you mean by cellular organization? Means the body of living organisms are made up of cells. So some organisms are unicellular, their body is made up of only one cell, and some organisms are multicellular, their body is made up of many cells. And in higher animals we can able to see the body is made up of different organs and organ systems. So the living organisms alone, the body is made up of cells, that is cellular organization. Next is nutrition. Living organism alone take nutrition for their survival. So the non-living organisms do not require nutrition. Only the living organisms require the nutrition. Next is respiration. Living organisms alone respire. They respire oxygen, that is they inhale oxygen and exhale the carbon dioxide. So respiration is also one of the key characters of living organism. Next is metabolism. Metabolism means the chemical reactions which are taking place during the digestion, respiration, etc. So all the chemical reactions come under the metabolism, and metabolism is also one of the characteristic features of living organism. Next is growth. Living organisms grow in height and weight, that is increase in size, that is called as growth. So growth is also one of the characters. And next is response to stimuli. Stimuli means, for example, if any dust particles enter into our eyes, we automatically close our eyes. Same way, if we touch any hot objects, we will withdraw our hands. So these are all example for stimuli. So living organisms alone responds to stimuli. Even the touch me not plant, if you touch the plant, automatically they will close their leaves. So all this comes under respond to stimuli. Next is movement. So living organism shows movement, either body movements or they move from one place to another place, called locomotion. And reproduction, living organisms alone produce their young ones. Excretion means that is removal of waste products from our body. So next is adaptation. Adaptation means adjusting in that changing environment, that is called as adaptation. And homeostasis, that is maintaining a stable environment. All the organ systems in our body, they coordinate with each other in order to maintain a stable environment called as homeostasis. So numerous scientists and taxonomists, they have made tremendous contributions and documentations in the observation and study even minute characters in the living organisms. Their keen observations have led to the classification of living organisms and the study of their interrelationship. Interrelationship means how they are, how the living and the non-living are interacting, or how all the living organisms are interacting with each other. Next we will see the topic classification. What is classification? Classification in Tamil we will see வகைப்படுத்தல், அதாவது பிரிக்கிறது. What is the need for classification? So we come across many places where things are arranged in specific categories. For example, when you go to a supermarket, you can see the shelves have different rows and columns of groceries, cosmetics, toys, stationery, snacks and utensils. So all have been arranged neatly in the different rows and columns. Why these things have to be arranged or categorized means, then only the customers as well as the salesperson will feel easy to take any particular things, and it will avoid waste of time in finding an item. Same way, when you go to a library, you can see the books are organized. So some books have been that is organized alphabetically, or it may be organized genres wise into autobiographies, novels, kid stories, science fictions, etc. So why the books in the libraries are arranged neatly or arranged in a particular category means, then only the readers as well as the librarian find it easy to take a particular book. So the same way, what is the need for classification means, if we classify the animals into different categories only, we can able to know about the animal, or we can able to get more information about them. So what is the need for classification means, it is impossible to study all the living organisms, hence it becomes necessary to devise some means and methods to make it possible, and this process is called as classification. So what is the definition of classification means? Classification is a process by which things are grouped in convenient categories based on easily observable characters. So we are categorizing the animals based on easily observable characters. So that is called as the classification. The scientific term used for these categories is taxa. So the scientific term for the categories is taxa. Taxon means singular. Taxa indicates categories at different levels. For example, if you take kingdom Animalia, it includes multicellular animals such as reptiles, mammals, etc. Based on their characteristics, all living organisms can be classified into different taxa. The science of classification is called as taxonomy. So what is taxonomy? The science of classification is called as taxonomy. So while classifying the animals, external and internal structures along with the developmental processes and ecological information of organisms are also essential. So when we classify the animals, we have to see the external as well as the internal structures of the animals, and also their characters, their habitats where they are living, all these things while classifying the animals. Hence characterization, identification, nomenclature and classification are the scientific stages that are basic to the taxonomy. Next we'll see the basic need for classification. What is the basic need for classification means? to identify that and differentiate the closely related species. So for what purpose we have to classify, or what is the basic need for classification? Means to identify, to find out and difference, to find the difference among the closely related species. Closely related species examples, if you take the horses, zebra, donkey, all these are closely related species, but they belong to different species. So in order to find the differences and similarities among them, we need to classify the animals. Next, to know the variation among the species. So variation means differences. To find out the differences among the species. To understand the evolution of the species. Evolution means to find how the animals are closely related and how their ancestors are related, or how they evolved from a common ancestor. So knowing or studying about this, all this comes under the evolution of the species. Next, to create a phylogenetic tree among the different groups. Phylogenetic tree means, so just we are grouping the animals and finding out how they are closely related and how their ancestors are related. That is called as the phylogenetic tree. For example, in your schools also you are asked to paste the photos of your family members and their ancestors like that. That is called as the phylogenetic tree. Next, to conveniently study the living organisms, to easily study about the living organisms. So all these are the basic need for classification. So in this chapter we have discussed about the diversity in the living world, then characteristic features of the living organisms and need for classification. In the next class we will discuss about the taxonomy and systematics. Thank you.